Morning. I didn't throw that shirt this morning.
Oh,
man. Y'all ready to set up? We got a state conference call in 30 minutes, so let's see if we can get through this real quick. You ready? Morning. Commissioner. First of all, good morning, and thank you for being here. Just a little update on the shelters. We have 169 people now on our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelters. We've gone from 3,294 people now to 169. We're trying to get our Red Cross troops over there right now to try to service them. We're also in the consideration stage of trying to see if we can move the pod site from FAR to the Delta area. But as soon as we get that information confirmed, we'll get that back to you. Right now, I need your help with residents staying out of high water. As you know, some of these high waters are not going to be healthy. So with us today is our commissioner, state commissioner of the state of Texas, David Lakey. As you know, David Lakey has been a leader since January 2nd, 2007 on health issues, not only in the state of Texas, but internationally, in trying to make sure we work on a better society and health issues here. So Commissioner Lakey, I don't know, first of all, thank you for being here in Hidalgo County. And I don't know if you want to say anything specifically, but I'd like for you to please give us an update on what your day is going to be like and what is it that we expect.
Sure. My name is David Lakey, and I'm the Commissioner of the Texas Department of State Health Services. And first, I want to commend this community, the citizens of this community, the leadership of this community, of how they've gotten things back up and running. Only 48 hours after a Category 2 hurricane came through this area. They've done a tremendous job getting things back up and running. I've had the privilege to go through this community for the last about 24 hours. The health system is back up and running. The hospitals are up and running. The ERs are open. This community is functional, and I need to commend the leadership for getting those things up and going. Now, there's still challenges in this area. A lot of water still in this area, and there are certain health risks related to the water, the standing water. We need to be very careful about the water we drink, making sure that we boil our water so we don't make ourselves ill. We need to be careful if you have children, babies, that you mix the baby formula with bottled water, or you have ready-to-go baby formula. We need to be careful. The power has been out, and food can become spoiled. And so we need to be careful with the food that's been in our refrigerators to make sure that it is still healthy. We need to be careful about, with so much water, snakes come out. There's other environmental hazards. So you don't want to wade in this water. You don't want to play in this water. You need to keep out of this water at this time. But again, want to commend the leadership of this community, the citizens of this community, for their, the way they've come through this disaster, the high spirits that they have, the way this community has gotten itself back up on its feet only 48 hours after this disaster occurred.
Right now, most of our resources are in the eastern part of the county, in the Delta area. We're trying to get people out of high water. The point of distributions, like I said, we're going to try to set up over there. We also, just so you can know, the point of distribution here in FAR sought 710 vehicles. We gave 32 pallets of water out, 3,800 bags of ice, 1,600 heater meals. We're set up today again to do the same thing, 1,600 heater meals, 32 pallets of water, and 3,800 bags of ice. So that's where we're at. We've also set up, this is very important, a hurricane hotline, because our lines are so swamped with general information. It's 318-2426. 318-2426. And that will be open at least till 5 o'clock. As we start fielding the calls, if we need to open extra hours, we will. But it will be open at least till 5 o'clock. So I do ask you to put the word out for the hotline is 318-2426. Tony, anything you want to add?
Yes, sir. I'd like to ask the public and the residents that are in standing water to just be a little bit patient with us. We are aware that we have a lot of ponding water. We have a lot of flooded areas. Be patient with us. We know that you're there. We're starting our pumping operations. We're starting to clear out. Mother Nature has to play a part in this, and we all know how Mother Nature is, a little bit unexpected in how she decides to do things. So be a little bit patient with us. I know that some reports that we don't know about, that we haven't been in the areas. We have been in the areas in unmarked vehicles and in aircraft. We know that you all are in standing water. Just be patient with us. We're working as hard as we can, as fast as we can, with the equipment that we have.
the drainage district update. Basically, the Panchita unit, which is our unit, one of the last units going into Laguna Madre. Now the unit has gone, is completely open. The water's gone down 1.5 feet over the last 12 hours. We expect it to have a positive outflow. So that's the latest. So as that goes down, so will the localized flooding. So with that, we're also working on special units to try to get the water into the IBWC floodway so that we can get it, especially the Delta area, La Villa area, in less and less flood areas as soon as we can. If that's the proper wording, we're just trying to see if we can get the water out of there fast. Questions?
Commissioner Lakey, are you concerned at this point about any sort of waterborne illnesses that might be out there in particular?
Well, I'm mostly concerned, water gets dirty, and any, the water can get contaminated, and so we need to be careful with the water we drink. Some of the illnesses that we would be concerned of will occur later. If the water stands for a long time, you can have the potential of mosquitoes and those type of mosquito-borne illnesses. Right now, I'm mostly concerned with unclean water and the regular diseases that are transmitted by unclean water.
Can we get an update on what's the water situation, lift stations, and
We have opened up our last gate going to the Laguna Madre, and over the last 12 hours, the water has gone down over 1 foot. So the water's got a positive outflow going to Laguna Madre. You got to remember still also that we have 61,000 people in Hidalgo County that don't have any electricity. So we're trying to see if we can ask our residents to be patient with that, and AEP is trying to get to service as many people as we can, as soon as we can. Any other questions?
¿Nos podrías enviar el mensaje en español para todo el público?
Sí, primeramente, gracias por estando aquí. El mensaje de la mañana, nomás que tengan cuidado con las aguas, que sean, no son de buena salud. Necesitamos tener cuidado y tener paciencias. Nosotros sabemos que tenemos más de 50,000 gente en Hidalgo County que no tienen luz, electricidad. Estamos trabajando bien duro para darles servicios. Tenemos un número para más información, 318-2426. El comisionado de salud del estado de Texas, comisionado Lakey, está aquí con nosotros. Brevemente para decirles que no se metan al agua porque no es de buena salud, y que tengan cuidado y que tengan la paciencia. Que también, por favor, tengan cuidado que si van a darle al bebé agua, que sea agua potable, que sea agua que tengan también por compra o por botella, y porque tengan mucho cuidado con el agua porque no van a tener buena salud.
¿Qué zonas tienen más afectadas, pues, que le preocupen ahorita para que baje el agua?
Ahorita la área que tenemos, estamos teniendo todos los recursos que tenemos están en la área de la vía, en el Cauchosa, porque esa la área parece que te agarró 12 pulgadas de agua en 6 a 8 horas. So, ahorita tenemos los recursos ahí para traer lo que podamos para sacar el agua de ahí, y también para darles servicios porque no tienen electricidad, para que tengan comida, para que tengan agua y tengan hielo. En este punto es lo que estamos haciendo.
¿Cuánto tiempo continuará la emergencia?
Ahorita.
¿Ustedes calculan?
El trabajo se comienza ahorita. Ahora es el tiempo para trabajar, para que nuestros residentes se metan para atrás a la casa. Yo espero una semana de trabajo, at least, y necesitamos limpiar mucho los árboles que están caídos y mucho otro trabajo que estamos haciendo ahorita por los precintos también.
¿Continúan los 6 albergues abiertos para
como lo necesitan, vamos a estar abiertos. Ahorita tenemos 100, más de 150 ahí. Como saben ustedes, teníamos 3,020, más de 300,000 que teníamos ahí, o 3,000 gente ahí en una noche. So, ahora tenemos 150 con 5 albergues que tenemos abiertos ahorita.
Necesito agregarle un...
Ok, go ahead.
Adelante.
Con unos llamados que tomé ahorita, tenemos los puntos de distribución para el hielo y el agua. Anda un rumor ahorita que en esos puntos de distribución se están alineando porque vamos a regalar gasolina. No hay tal cosa, es puro rumor. So, no estamos dando gasolina gratis. In English, one the call that I just took a minute ago, the pot side, that we got people lined up, the pot side and far, waiting for the food and the ice, but somebody put out a rumor somewhere, or started a rumor, that we're giving away free gas there. We're not giving away free gas. It's nothing but a rumor. Don't drive up asking for gasoline, because you're just going to crowd up the lines of people that need the food and the water.
The pod side, the point of distribution that's open here in FAR, they made misconception there's a Suncoast fueler there for the Texas military forces, and it's not for the residents at this point.
Yeah.
How quickly can you get the pods to the Delta rather than FAR?
We just sent our logistics commander from that area. As you know, it's state resources, so all we can do is request. His goal is trying to see if they can do it by 1 o'clock. But that is, we got to be realistic. They got to pick up and move. And first of all, they're sending to see how many resources they have. As you know, we also have, they have 7 pod sites open in this region. They have Cameron County and Willacy County they need to contend with also. So they're trying. They're going to send it up the chain, and we'll get the answer soon. As soon as we have the information, I need your help to get it out, though.
Is there any way Eddie can tell us what's happening, what he's hearing at the county level in terms of the health concerns?
Eddie, if you can give us an update on health concerns. Steve Taylor's asking for any health concerns. Do you have any?
English or Spanish?
English, please.
Spanglish.
Spanglish. Well, first of all, I'd like to echo and thank having Commissioner Lakey here. This demonstrates that the state's full public health support is at our hand, and there is no higher level for public health than Commissioner Lakey. One of the things that we're working on is working on the pod size, as Judge Salinas said. I think the main thing is we're trying to maximize the resources and support we have here locally to deal with the public health needs. The number one area, I'd like to echo what Commissioner said, we discourage families from having their children play in the water, play in the puddled water. The areas that we're looking at having problems with, we've been in contact with the cities, the various cities on their water supplies. All our major cities have their water treatment plants operational in place, the water safe to drink. The only area that may be affected by this, it would be the Edcouch, Elso, Monte Alto area due to the excessive amount of rain they've had and the power outages there. That area, I would encourage and echo what the Commissioner said. Those areas may want to boil their water before they prepare it. But the larger major cities of the county, treatment plants are doing fine.
But in order to boil water, obviously you need electricity. So if you don't have electricity and you need to boil water, then of course let's try to get some bottled water. So that's why we're working to move the point of distribution center to you. And I ask our neighbors to please be cognizant of the fact that we may have babies or elderlies out there, that we try to work together to try to get our feet back up, because we're gonna may have a lot of demand on our resources, but we need to get our babies back healthy and make sure our elderly gets back up to their feet. So we need to make sure that if you have a baby and you don't have electricity, that we need to get them some bottled water. So make sure that you understand that.
You know, one of the things we're following up, Commissioner Lakey and Judge Salinas had a really good discussion this morning on food safety. One of the big concerns for us, there's been a lot of the restaurants, a lot of local food establishments that have been without power for a couple of days. We're very concerned that the quality of their food may be questionable due to lack of refrigeration or lack of freezer operations. Right now, we've mobilized, along with the support from the state, who have sent some sanitarians down from Austin, and along with our local health officials, what we've done, we've mobilized all our health officials and inspectors to go to all the major restaurants, to go to all the major areas that are food establishments and are the ones that provide different nourishment to the community, to make sure that there's not at any time any food substance that's being sold or given that may be questionable due to the lack of refrigeration or freezing. We're focusing primarily on the northeastern part of the county that's been affected the most, but we're looking at it county-wide. We ask all restaurant owners, all food establishments and grocery stores that if they have any questionable food, that needs to be destroyed or gotten rid of, because we do not want any potentially harmful food items to be sold or distributed to anyone in our community. I'm not sure if the Commissioner has anything he wants to add on the food part.
I guess my question to you all, since you're the health experts, if you're a resident and you want to check the quality of food, is there different ways that we can check on it other than the asking, or is there any other way?
Well, to me, the old-fashioned way, and the way my grandma taught me, was real simple. If it doesn't look right, doesn't smell right, don't eat it, okay? So from that part, that's the way I look at it. But
be careful.
Be real careful. But the part I'm worried about most of the time, Judge and Commissioner, folks at home are really good about watching that. I'm kind of concerned about and I'm going to say it, some scrupulous restaurant owner or vendor who is trying to maximize their return on their investment,
The resources.
and they may try to use some food items that are not appropriate to eat.
Eddie, ¿nos puedes repetir esto tomando en cuenta que hay muchas zonas y tenemos a veces muchos restaurantes, lugares de comida en esas zonas? ¿Cuál es la recomendación? ¿Nos puedes repetir un poquito esa recomendación?
Lo que me preocupa a mí bastante es que hay bastantes negocios aquí en nuestra comunidad, aquí en el condado, de restaurantes, de diferentes talleres de tocante que hacen diferentes niveles de alimentos y comidas aquí en nuestra comunidad. Lo que es importante es que asegurar que esos alimentos, esos diferentes tipos de comidas no vayan a la comunidad. Ahorita mismo con la orden del juez Salinas y trabajando mano a mano con el Estado ha mandado recursos de inspectores sanitarios que han venido a asistirlos. Nosotros aquí en el condado estamos mandando todo el equipo que tenemos para asegurar que los diferentes alimentos, las diferentes comidas que tenemos en los restaurantes, en nuestras tiendas, que estén aseguradas que no va a afectar a la salud pública en la comunidad. Le pido a todos los que tienen restaurantes o negocios, diferentes talleres de comidas, que por favor no den comida que a lo mejor no sirve. Y hay que estar asegurados que para nuestra salud en las semanas que vienen, que las comidas son muy importantes en la parte de asegurar esa parte de salud.
How many health inspectors do we have in the county?
We have 7.
We have 7 health inspectors. We're out there trying to see if we can get the restaurants. As you know, we have several more than 7 restaurants out there, so we're trying to get our resources out. With the help of the state, though, we're trying to see if we can get them checked.
But we also have the local cities who have their own health departments, and they're doing the sanitation work as well.
On behalf of the county fire marshal's office, we've had a ton of requests this morning for people wanting to burn their trash and or burn brush piles. We asked the people that have brush around them, first off, it's green and it's wet, so it's going to have a hard time igniting. Please do not be starting any fires to get rid of the debris in the trash. The last thing we need to do is having to run emergency responders that are responding, in the fire departments is what I'm talking about, that are responding to life-threatening situations and life safety situations, to have to respond to a fire that was set intentionally to get some trash and or brush burned. So please do not start fires to get rid of the debris.
At this point, what we recommend the residents, if you have any debris or debris removal, to bring it out as close to the edge of the street to curbside, and then we'll try to get to the services with our local county commissioner precincts and also the cities to try to see if we can remove it.
Oh, yes.
But be patient with that. It's going to be.
I have a question for the commissioner, real quick.
Sure.
I know Katrina was a lot bigger, but as far as time response locally, how do you compare it as far as management?
Well, I think this community is doing a fabulous job in managing what has happened. And again, just 48 hours after having a Category 2 hurricane roar through here, sit over this community, dump up to 15 inches of water in some places, to have the medical system all up and functional, the ERs are open, there's beds available. Yes, there's some power out, but folks are getting power back and restored. The hospitals had generators, and when the power went out, they were able to utilize those generators right away and care for folks. And so they were able to make sure that the patients in the hospitals were cared for. And so, I can only say positive things of what I've seen in this community of how it's responded to this Category 2 hurricane.
And there's different measurements on what is success. But ours is life safety first. We have not lost a life yet in Hurricane Dolly, and that is the most important thing. After that, we'll start doing reentry and recovery, and that's what we're working on today.
In Alamo, we went to a neighborhood that's about chest deep. Are there water pumps out there already pumping out the water?
Let me put you.
Yep. We're aware of the neighborhoods in Alamo. We're aware of the south of Alamo, and we're aware of the neighborhoods south of Donna that every time we have 2 to 4 inches of rain, end up with chest deep water. The people there, last year's storms, we offered to evacuate them. We offered to open up a shelter, and they actually, it was one of our health inspectors that we sent down there to do a door-to-door. And what the residents did, was actually block our inspector in there and not let him out till we pump the water. The problem is that in order to pump the water, we got to get to the ditch, and every time you even step on a ditch, you sink. Just step in there, you sink about 3 feet into the ditch. So we can't get equipment in there. They have to bear with us. We didn't create this situation. This is Mother Nature's situation. This is God's situation. It's beyond us. So all we can do, we know that they're there, and we have been in that area. When I made the statement earlier, that's a particular neighborhood that I was referring to.
Yeah.
I know they're there, and I know how many have been affected. They got to be patient with us. Our resources are not only being, the majority we're going to respond to the greater number of people that have been affected. And I had one lady yesterday that called me and said, well, when AEP came through and replaced a pole in front of my house out in a rural area, they busted my water line, and I need somebody out here to replace my water line right now. And I've got 3,000 folks on the other end of the valley, you know, that have no water, and she's complaining. So I mean,
Or light.
yeah, or electricity, and they're standing in the water. We prioritize the request. We prioritize to give the greater amount of population to restore there, and we're going to get to everybody, but it's going to be time consuming. What I'm looking at right now with the immediate needs to get people back on their feet this is a 7 to 10 day operation. To get the land dried out, we're looking at a 6-week operation here before we get everything back to normal, and it's going to continue. And I realize that the people right now, our residents, they're frustrated. It's affected everybody psychologically. Everybody went through the fear of the hurricane while it was going through. The aftermath of the hurricane creates fear in people. It creates impatience. I realize that to the person that's calling us for help, that is an emergency. It is an emergency to us too, and it's the most important situation in the entire whole wide world at the moment. But please bear with us, because there's people out there that might be in worse off conditions than you are. So just bear with us. I want to touch on the illegal dumping. A lot of the ponding issues that we have are a result of people illegally dumping in the ditches, and it stops up the culverts under the roadways. It stops that up. People won't listen to us, when we tell them don't dump in the ditches. They do it anyway. As a result of this, there's a lot of debris being created. Please don't go out and find a ditch and dump it in flowing water where we have a good flow of water, because we worked real hard to get there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of wet carpets being pulled out, and we're going to have a lot of furniture. We understand that, but please try to avoid from dumping it into our drainage ditches, because it accumulates the problem even more. So we can make
What's
sure.
the best advice? Just leave it
That's
in
the
front
best
of
thing
your
to
house?
do right now is do it curbside. That's the quickest, safest, without blocking the roadway. Put it curbside, then we'll continue trying to see if we can do a recovery program.
And our number one issue right now is life safety and health and welfare of the public. That doesn't mean that if you put out 20 trash bags because you didn't throw out the trash in the last 6 weeks prior to the hurricane, that you're going to put it out there and we're going to pick up your trash. Personally, I would drive by that trash. It's every emergency management starts at the individual level. And it's incumbent upon the individual to prepare for the emergency, to take care of themselves and their families. As government, city, local, state, and federal government, all we can do is come help, direct. We need the public's help too. We had we saw real good things yesterday, real good comments from some of the mayors of the smaller cities that were out there actually picking up debris, helping people in their communities. People are coming out. I have faith in our communities that they're going to help each other. If you see your neighbor having trouble dragging a limb, get off your chair, go over there and help them. Don't sit there and throw a barbecue while your neighbor's in misery, please. Because we've seen that happen too.
Judge, I know we're still early in the damage assessment process, but do you guys have any sort of preliminary feel for?
No, I'm not even going to try to guess right now, because I know that y'all going to hold it to it, so I'm not going to give you a number. We're trying to get the debris assessment by 1 o'clock to FEMA. We got a field team out there right now.
As far as like quantities that need to be collected?
I think they want a number financially, they want numbers, quantity, and it's real hard. They called us 7:15 this morning. We started getting calls saying, hey, give me a guesstimate by 1 o'clock. So we're trying to get that to them.
Was there any kind of effort to educate some of these communities that don't have power, or maybe the lower income communities, about media access as to these health risks, boiling water? And
We've had people on the ground trying to talk to them. We had a meeting with the mayors late last night. We had 2 meetings last night with the mayors in the Delta area, and with your help, we'll get the information out to the outlets. But we're asking, we're even talking to the superintendent of the schools in Monte Alto to get the information out to try to help us. So, yeah, the information. We're trying to put out the information with every outlet that is available. And that's why we help. I need your help putting the hotline out. If you just call us on a cellular phone at least and get more information, we'll try to help you.
You know, Judge, one of the directions you gave us, along with Commissioner Court's giving us, to educate our community, starting after the last year and a lot of things after Hurricane Dean event. There's been the Texas Ready or Not program has been working very diligently on preparing our community for hurricane preparedness and all hazard preparedness. So there's been an ongoing training for the last year and a half on hurricane preparedness and all hazard preparedness. And it's been in English and in Spanish in the schools, in the community, in the public. So those media events have been taking place. Those PSAs have been taking place. In fact, many of your TV stations run those PSAs for us. So that's been happening. So as far as answering your question, has there been education in the community? The answer is definitely yes, and it's been very well received. And it's evident by our success. I think it's been real successful.
Preventive information.
Right.
I think you were asking about the existing situation. We're doing both. Thank you. We have a 10:30 statewide conference call.
The
So we're
Commissioner,
going
give us a wrap-up comment on which areas has he seen,
What's that?
which damage has he seen, and a wrap-up comment on what the residents should be careful about.
So we arrived here yesterday. Had the opportunity to stop off in San Antonio at the Alamo Regional Command, where they helped organize a lot of the response, and then came through to our regional office here, the Regional Medical Operating Center. Had a chance to go out to Brownsville and see how that city looks up and functional. Everything looks good. We were in Harlingen, and then today out in McAllen.
We did start this morning, Steve, with a briefing with the commissioner. And, at 8:30, we started briefing him and his staff. He has several resources here about the lay of the land, some of the problems. So from now, he's going to probably get out in the field and see them firsthand in our county. So we appreciate him firsthand coming here. And we welcome you. I wish it was in a vacation mode, but
we'll have to do that in the future.
Yeah, we welcome you.
Before this, we've had a good working relationship with Hidalgo County local health department for many a year with Eddie and the good work that he has done here. And so this isn't a new situation for us. We have that relationship. Prior to the hurricane hitting, we sent down several folks from our agency in Austin to get in here and to help to make sure we're ready. Dr. Sandra Garricantu in the red shirt is one of our physicians that we pre-deployed. We have several other folks that we pre-deployed, and then we've been working with our regional office in Harlingen to make sure that we were ready, working with our partners and to be able to respond. And so our folks have been down here. Yesterday was the first day that I was able to come down here, and again, been able to work with your leadership and hear the great work that they've been doing over the last all this week, getting ready, going through the hurricane.
You do need to know that Dr. Cantu was assigned to our ELC since Tuesday afternoon, and she happens to be from the city of Mission, so she knows the lay of the land. So she's helped us in great resources that we try to get back on our feet. She's a Mission Eagle, so she knows it. Thanks again. And like I said, we have a statewide conference call here at 10:30, so we're going to give updates as soon as we get more information.
Thank you.
You want to get in the conference?
Thanks for that response.
Sure.